All right, here we go. Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. This is year what? 5. We started in 2018. I didn't think we'd ever be here. All right, I got to introduce Carl King, son of Don King, great man. His dad, Samara, bid $3.1 million for a title fight, so he's really busy right now. Aaron Snowell, Hall of Fame trainer, great man. He's Jack Johnson exhibit. He's in the house. Tony Tubbs, heavyweight champion of the world, in the house. And Nate Tubbs, he knocked out Corey Sanders, one of the greatest promoters here in Indiana, and everything. I got to pick up Antonio Tarver, and we're going to talk about that Rocky movie that he was in with it. I want to know how Apollo beat him or how Rocky beat him. All right, but these guys, Aaron Snowell's going to do interviews with these guys. You guys are on camera. Aaron, take over.
Hey, that was a nice cut, Greg. Hey, look, it's an indeed pleasure to be here at the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame weekend, June 3rd and 4th here, man. We have some great personalities that I had a pleasure to working against sometime, but most of all, it's family. It's called the Boxing Family. It's one love, and we all started back around the same time on our journey in this game. And it looks like 40-some years with Carl King and Tony Tubbs and Nate Tubbs. Let's kick it off like this here. We'll start with you, champ, because you're the champ. Just give us some inside look at your earlier days. You were a great amateur and turned out to be a heavyweight champion.
It seems like, for me, I never left boxing. You know what I'm saying? I can remember you, I remember Don came, and just like these fighters these days ain't got nothing on us.
No, I agree. I think you're right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying to you that here, you know what I'm saying, just you can come off the street, kids, be fighting on the streets, be doing certain moves that they have seen on TV, and I'm glad, and I'm really, grateful for you and Don and all them, cause here I was fighting in school to school. They can't say anything bad about me because I was fast.
That ain't no
fast,
joke.
you know what I'm saying? But here, you know what I'm saying, it's just like, just as, God did this right here, because I'm still taking it up there, the area that I'm in up there, and what's that?
Middletown. Is that the same Middletown where Chris Carter grew up in that Middletown?
Yeah,
Okay.
I still goes over there and try to work with them heavyweights and work with it. But you can't have a trainer. It's no good trainers if you ain't never been hit in the head or hit in the body or shot. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, now the ones who really get down is ones who know what to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people don't know when we were at Muhammad Ali's training camp, when we spent time together in the early days. All the great fighters that were around Muhammad Ali, Jimmy Ellis, who was a former heavyweight champion in those days, but all the other great fighters and trainers that would become and emerge in that facility, and you got something from it.
Right.
It showed you that you could be great too if you put the time and the work in.
Right.
And you did win the WBA heavyweight championship of the world, and that's a defeat in itself.
And that, even with that, when we was with Harold Smith,
Yes.
when we was with Harold, we fought all over the world, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, you know what I'm saying, just, you can't, it's something that you can't never forget, you know what I'm saying? And you can walk down the street, and then I'm 64 years old, and I still swing, you know what I'm saying, to get, you know what I'm saying? I go on TV, I'm still be cutting up, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Ain't nobody messing with you. Look here. Don't get it twisted. Hey, that's around and get one tongue go on you.
Hey, look, you know, today is June 3rd. It's the first day of the induction of the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. You fine gentlemen are being inducted into the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. But we got to give praise and homage to one of the greatest of all times, Muhammad Ali.
Right.
June 3rd.
6 years, right?
Yeah, 2016 he passed. He was something. What do you mean to you, Tony? And then I'm going to.
Muhammad was my everything. When he had the team, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was looking for speed, you know what I'm saying? And here, come to the field. He showed me how to take my time, how to you know, throw them hands. And once you throw a combination, I've been throwing a combination, you know what I'm saying? It's just him. He out here had one skip that you gotta be waiting on, because if you don't mess with that skip, you get cracked.
But he did buy your family. Did he buy your house?
He sure did. He sure did.
What?
You know,
Still living in the day.
No. Yeah. This is what he told me. He said, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do with you. He said, I'm gonna get you a house. You know that? My mother and my brothers and them still, you know what I'm saying, got that house.
Right today.
You know,
42
right,
years.
That's right.
42
And you
years.
know,
42 years. Seriously.
It's
Yeah.
you know, good thing Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? I think Muhammad was real glad that he was whooping on Frazier. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Him and Frazier was coming, but he was just getting in, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
And I really think that the fighters of these days right here, I don't know what's wrong with them. Well, you know, maybe it's just that when we was coming up,
It was all Americans.
You
had good trainers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He had good trainers then.
And something, you know what I'm saying, would always go, but it was always a winner.
You know, it seemed to me that it's an odd way, for me, it's an odd way of looking at it. But a lot of times, you know, when we were young, when we were, you know, 9, 10 years old, looking up to the Ali's and things, it's like, man, you know, I knew a lot of guys that said, man, I want to do that because Ali he got $2.5 million to fight Joe Frazier in 71, right? So can do that. But I think now, because someone asked me not long ago, he said, what happened to the African-American heavyweight? And my response was, I said, he's in L.A., number 23 and number 6, LeBron James. Because what happened, in my view, is like basketball presented more lucrative opportunities for inner city kids. Right. You know, in terms of shoe deals and you know, the massive contracts that you're not getting in boxing. And, you know, boxing hasn't evolved to that, in my view. So a lot of that, but then, you know, then that's why I'm thinking you see a lot of the influx of Eastern European fighters and whatnot that's got titles that may not have had them had these, you know, basketball and football. You know, it's just massive contracts that, you know, the ordinary fighter is not going to get that to turn pro. It's not getting the millions of dollars.
I really think that when Muhammad was fighting, wasn't it just, you know what I'm saying, who was going to whoop him? And he teaches, you know what I'm saying, why he
See, a lot of people don't know that.
Watch out, boy.
People don't understand that. Ali used to have people spar with him, and he'll teach you why he's sparring with
that's
you.
right. That's
From
right.
Charles Carter and all of them. Remember?
That's right.
Everybody in the
Oh, wait. What about when he fought? I don't know if it was when he had the exhibition with Lyle Zato, right? He said he said Lyle tried to really store shit. He said, shit, he did, man. I had to. He said, he had to step up and then he's sitting with the, you know, shit.
And much as he was a grateful teacher, but Ollie had a real other side of him was a real killer instinct too. If he got you hurt, he's getting you out of there.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
ain't
he
no
was a
question.
man, look, he's a pit bull, you know, he just, you know, he looked different, you know, when they was coming up, man, he, you know, we didn't see an athlete, you know, tall, handsome, you know, and talking brash and making predictions. It's like, you know, nobody did that in them days, you know, nobody did that and moved like he moved.
Yeah.
I mean, it was something about his personality
you know,
that just magnetized me. I was like, wow.
You know, it's just that you go to the school and you see Muhammad Ali, you know what I'm saying? And think, I just thank y'all, man, you know what I'm saying? Cause really, you know what I'm saying? Most of us in there, you know what I'm saying, in the game, you know, fighting, street fightings and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? But once you take and get a ring and you can make it, you can do a show off of it, it's even better.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them are just, and a lot of them, after you became champion, I remember that good ass.
Let's change gears so we get everybody in. Nate, in your own right, a great businessman, great fighter brothers. You've won a championship. Hey, look, you came into a lot of different camps to spar with a lot of people. Also, Mike Tyson, your brother fought Mike Tyson, but you used to train with us with Mike Tyson. Just give me some insight and congratulations on this induction into the Indianapolis Boxing Hall of Fame. Give us some insight on your career, your outlook. You know, with an older brother like Tony, it's a lot of times it's hard to live up to that thing. But give us some insight on how you dealt with it and your whole career here.
Well, you know, I come from a family that we stick together. You know, and Tony, you know, you have all kids want to be like Mike and want to be like Michael Jordan and all them type of guys. My inspiration was always my big brother.
Yes.
I had another big brother that was murdered 42 years ago. You know, he's a major inspiration for me because when Tony was going to training camp and stuff, I ran the streets with him. So I learned a lot on both ends. But what gave me the motivation when I turned pro in 1987, Tony brought me out to California, and I had one fight in 2 years. You know, I'm like, Tony, I can go home and do this shit myself. You know what I mean? I'm already got some money, you know what I mean? I'm watching everybody doing their thing because I've always been observative, and my motivation always trying to follow the guy with the money. And see, like Don King and Bush Lewis and them, they was getting all the money. So I started focusing more on watching what they was doing.
They getting it all?
They was getting it all. Hey, I say that because I became a promoter. I've been a promoter for 30 years. And you get money that the fighters don't know nothing about. You know what I mean? So it motivated me to become a promoter. My inspiration was always a promoter. I could fight, but boxing was never my pleasures. You know what I mean? I started out being a basketball player for 15 years. Was a hell of a basketball player. When I got to Don King's camp, I was beating everybody the money playing basketball. So, you know, I've seen other ways to pick up a few extra dollars and stuff like that, but I built a lot of relationships, you know, that allows me to do my promotions. And, you know, I'm a small time promoter, which I got, Don King gave me some advice 25 years ago that I live with today. You know, I called Don one day and say, Don, I can't get no sponsorship. He said, well, hell, you can't get no sponsorship because you ain't got no TV. You know, and he told me to take $2,000 and go buy some airtime from a local cable station. I've been doing it ever since. I get all types of sponsors now. You know, so I applaud him for giving me that information because most people don't share their secrets. You know, and I was hoping that he'd be here so I could, you know, thank him for that.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I wish he was here too.
What you said, I'm just a small time promoter. I'm gonna tell you something about Bordini Brown too. I was one day, you remember Tony, I used to do dishes
that's right.
in the kitchen. I started doing it with Lana Shabazz in the kitchen. So Boudini Brown came out of the gym and I was in the kitchen washing dishes.
Right.
And Boudini came in the door. He said, there ain't no big guys and little U's because even the dishwasher's important. Don't like the
Right.
money out here in the dirty dish. He said, give me that. The champ needs a clean plate.
No big ass.
But a lot of things that I learned from asking questions from the bigger promoters helped me a lot with the things that I did.
Right.
I started getting a deal at the casinos. They're picking up $50,000, $60,000. I'm getting the $50,000, $60,000. Then I'm getting the ticket sales too. Then I start getting turned on to making these promoters and managers buy spots on the card. So you know what? I was doing shows without no fighters. I was selling all my spots to the managers and promoters. But then one thing they stayed mad about me, I had to prove all bouts. About me being a fighter, trainer, managing all that, I knew all the ins and outs, and everybody had to fight for my money.
Yeah,
My whole motto was pleasing the crowd. I never cared nothing about pleasing no manager. He had to fight for my money.
Yeah, well, hey man, it's tough out there, but everybody's growing in different stages of the game, and tomorrow, you know, ain't no telling where you're going to be from the things that you learn, and opportunities going to meet one day, and it's going to take off to bigger and better things as we're seeing, and as we're talking, and now we're talking at the end of that space. But let's go to CK, man. CK, let me tell you, man, first of all, congratulations to you, brother. For your induction into the International Boxing, the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. And let me tell you, it's a deep pleasure for me to be sitting in this seat with y'all, brother, sharing this here, man, is because teamwork makes the dream work, bro.
Yes,
and
sir.
as a team, bro, we accomplished a whole lot. We did a lot of things from bantamweight to heavyweight, and all of those in between.
We did.
And you had a lot of part to do with that, bro. Just talk about, you know, being Carl King, number one. Then talk about your relationship with you and your father, how sometimes it can be as that, you know, going into things like that.
Well, you know what? It's always, for me, you know, growing up, we're going to start at the beginning, you know. I was telling you the other night, the first fighter that I ever met in my life was Muhammad Ali.
That's right.
You know, when he came to Cleveland. Right before the Sonny Liston, it was actually Cassius Clay. And then he came back to our home again right after the Ernie Terrell fight in '67. Okay, right before. It was one fight before he went into that 4-year exile, 3.5 years of exile. And then he came back to our home, right, 72-ish, right, when he, and that was when, you know, my father was putting together the boxing exhibition for the hospital.
Right.
So it's kind of like all these different stages. So, you know, I kind of watched this, and then for me, getting started in boxing came from a different place. It was, I was tasked with the job of babysitting, for lack of a better term, Michael Dokes. My father said, look, I'm on my way out of town. Got this young kid in here, your age. You know, I need you to just, you know, I don't need him to get bored out here in Orwell and, you know, and leave. I'll be back in about a week or two. I'm like, a week or two, okay. So with me, I'm like, a week or two, you know, that costs. You know, Daddy got to break me off, right?
Right.
So, so I'm like, okay, so he broke me off and said, you know, make sure Michael will have a good time. So I'm like, okay. I didn't tell him that I got the money because, you know, I ain't know him like that.
Right.
You know, so we ended up hanging out, man. And long story short, we got close. And then when my father came back, he told Michael, he said, listen, we have a meeting and you need to get a manager. And he need to be in on this meeting, you know what I mean? So that, because I don't usually negotiate with fighters, is what his terms were.
Right.
So next thing I know, Michael was like, yo, man, I want Carl to come in with me. I'm like, shit, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, what? So I said, look, you know, if you got the paper, I got the pen. Let's, before y'all change your mind around here, I want to get in on this. So I got in, you know, I started, that was the beginning of my professional career, but, you know, my father has taught us all, you know what I mean? But more importantly, I think what he has done I think I consider him to be like a trailblazer. You know, he did things that no other promoter ever did. And I may sound biased because he is my father, but he is the absolute best. And what you know, he talk about Bob Arum, no disrespect, no, I ain't trying to, you know, drop no shine off of, you know, Bob Arum, but he ain't do what my old man did. I don't give a damn what they say. DK did, he's the first one he did to do a heavyweight doubleheader.
Yeah.
He the first one to do, you know, that took them fights overseas. He did, you know, Rumble in
He
the
did it
Jungle.
well.
Thriller.
He did it well. Sure did.
Most thing I loved about him, he showed me how to go get the money.
Yeah,
That's what I like.
Now, you talk about, I think you were
That's
there
what I
that time
like.
when Harold Smith,
Yeah.
at Ollie's camp, Harold
Right.
Smith, it happened in the kitchen. Harold Smith and Don King were in the camp trying to get Ali to fight.
Right.
Harold Smith came and dumped $1 million cold cash on the kitchen table. And Don King said, that ain't nothing. He came and dumped $1 million on. So you got $2 million cash money sitting on a kitchen table, them trying to get Ali. And Ali sitting there, and all of a sudden Ali stands up. He said, man, these some rich niggas here. This is $2 million. He said, our people don't have no stuff like this, man. Y'all sure you ain't gonna rob a bank or something like that? Right? Remember that? Yeah, but you know, they were great men putting forth, you know, regardless of what happened with Harold Smith.
Right.
When he had it, he gave it to everybody.
Sure.
Yeah, and I was the lowest guy on the totem pole, and I was getting it right along with everybody else. He ain't have.
Well, I told you, man, because you know, man, when I get to heaven, we gonna settle this matter. You know, because he said he had a suitcase for me. I'm like, suitcase, what?
Yeah, so Carl, go ahead. You know, we
But
were
yeah.
talking about that money. You know, that money makes you excited, man.
Hey, it was exciting times, you know. Look, what Harold was doing, nobody everybody was lining up to see him. Loyalty went right out the window. It went right to Wells Fargo Bank. That's where the loyalty went. But you know, look, for me growing up, man, I've lived a charmed life. I'm truly a God-blessed child. I had the fortunate opportunity. You know, my dad, you know, one thing about DK that a lot of people may or may not know, he's not a selfish individual. You know what I mean? When I was in Venezuela in '74 for Foreman and Norton. I was in Zaire, you know, for Ali. I was like 16.
Right.
You know, and it's like, I'm like the only 16-year-old at these places, you know. This was international shit, you know what I'm saying? And so my point is, like, being around guys like Dick Sadler and Angelo Dundee and then on as we, you know, got into the early part of the 80s, the Bobby Lewis, the Slimmer, all these trainers that we come in contact with, the type of fighters. With Tony, this man here was, you know, he was so smooth when we was 18, 19 years old, man. Didn't you box for the Ali amateur team too?
Yeah.
It was like nothing like it.
And Ray Leonard and all of them, you know what I'm saying? They Muhammad Ali had the team, and they boycotted it.
Right, the 80 Olympics.
They boycotted
Right.
the 80 Olympics because we was out kicking tail.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they was all
Ali
number
went
one.
and recruited the best.
It was all number one in every division.
Yeah, he still took and picked out all the winners of Olympics. And then that's what, you know, me, even those.
Folks was there.
What was that big heavyweight name?
Tilo Stevenson.
The Philly.
Stevenson, right.
And then, you know what I'm saying?
That's what Michael told me one time. He said he fought him. He was 16 in the Pan Am Games in Mexico City. He said the first time he hit him and knocked him down, because Michael had never been knocked down like that.
Right.
He said, man, he seen himself, you know, landing in Mexico City. And he said, and the coaches or the trainers was, get on the inside, get on the inside. He get back on the inside. He nailed again. He said, I seen myself leaving out of Mexico City. So they said, get back on the inside. He said, you know, after that, you know, and he boxing, he lost 3-2. 5 international judges got a silver medal, 75 Pan Am Games. But at that time, like you said, man, there was some guys, man, that Tony, Greg Page, you know, remember Big Clint Cochran,
Yeah.
and you know, Jimmy Clark.
No, Jimmy Clark. Weren't you supposed to go on that trip to Russia from the camp, and it snowed?
It snowed.
It snowed real heavy, and you missed the plane or something, right?
That wasn't the plane that crashed,
No,
was it?
no,
No, that
it
was.
was a plane that crashed.
Crashed. Yeah, while we were in training
We
camp.
was going to training camp and fighting, you know. I really think, you know what I'm saying, only way that otherwise going to get me, you know what I'm saying, is as long as I stay inside of his arms.
Right.
You know, when you throw a punch, you know what I'm
You
saying?
talking about Clark or Stevenson?
Stevenson.
Stevenson.
So when he's swooping up on, when he coming over throwing them jabs, I'm
Way over there.
he ain't gonna hit me with that.
And because he could hit now. He was doing this thing, and you know everybody thought he was like unbeatable.
Yeah.
But like when Michael did, you know, he was a grown man, though. You know, he was fighting these amateurs. But you know what I mean? Yeah, he fighting
About the Ohio thing, man. A lot of guys from Cincinnati ended up being on the Muhammad Ali team.
Yeah.
Sonny Long,
Yeah, Sonny
Jeff
Long.
Wells.
Sonny Long, yeah,
He's still around.
he's still around.
Jeff Welly passed away a few years ago.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
what?
Jeff Welly passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, they all them
Wait a
guys.
minute, Jeff Whaley?
Yeah, he passed away about
Boy,
5
you
6
so
years.
tall.
Yeah.
I get back over there.
Hold up, Destiny. Hold up a second.
Don't do your thing.
So, you know, Jeff Welly and Sonny Long and all them guys,
Yeah.
man, they ended up
Yeah.
coming onto the team, man, got found, man.
That's
And they
right.
made the team,
That's
a
right.
team too, man.
Right.
And Stoudemire
from Cleveland.
Yeah.
And who else? Donnie Long.
Donnie Long.
Remember Donnie Long? Donnie
Where
Long
was Donnie? He was
Akron.
from
Columbus.
Youngstown?
He's from Akron.
Was
Yeah,
he
Youngstown.
from
Nice from Youngstown.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donnie Long. Man, Ohio, we had, you know, look, and what was the cruiserweight? Jeff
Jeff Lampkin from
Lampkin.
Youngstown.
Just like we tell this story here, you should have been there when we was there, when we was doing, you know what I'm saying? We had some great,
A lot of great times.
Some great,
Yeah, a lot of stories we can tell, and a lot
that's
we
right.
can't.
That's right.
Then you know the most important thing of this journey, we built a lot of good relationships.
Yeah.
A lot of good relationships. And me, myself, I learned a lot.
But you
and
know
I'm still
what,
doing
man?
it now.
Boxing is a small fraternity. You know, that's what people,
Yeah.
I think people on the outside fail to realize that, you know, you hear about these NBA players. They talk about there's only been 5,000 NBA players.
Right.
But it's only less fighters that have made it in this
Right.
in this world. You know what I mean? And that, man, when you talk about, we're sitting here, all of us been in a training camp at the same time.
Right.
You know, whether we shooting dice, shooting pool,
Yeah.
playing ball, whatever, all that other shit that go along with it.
Right.
And none of us knew it, you know,
Yeah.
nobody sat around back then and said, you know, one day we all gonna be in the Hall of Fame. I never
Yeah.
thought about nothing like that. You know,
I never thought about it either.
you know what I mean? We were doing things on a level that the average person, you know, never get a chance to do, and see the places we've been, the things we've done, the food we've eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's been a blessing. Been a blessing.
And if it wasn't for Don King, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all picked out just worldwide fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Best among the best.
You hear me?
Oh yeah, man. Look, you know what? Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I've been criticized all my professional career, and like, you know, well, Carl is Don's son, so Don just giving him these guys, Don doing this, Don doing that. And I mean, which is a direct insult to my intelligence. Now, I did go to college. I did got a degree. You know, I had a master's in business. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not.
You
it's
was
not-
you.
Right.
You
And
was you.
so there became a time, right, when it's like, fighters would come to me and be like, yo, man, I need you to hook me up, man. Hook me up with your pops. I want to get a fight, blah, blah, blah. So little did they know that although they accused my father of being giving me all these guys. But
Right.
what I would do is like, yo, man, I was smart enough to know how to get that money too. You know, it's
Right,
like,
yeah.
yo, man, you want me to hook you up? Well, you know, you got to cut me in or cut it out.
Right,
And that's it, one or the other. So I started using that whole thing that they used against me for my own benefit. Okay, if I'm Don's son and everybody think that he's giving me all these cats and these people are coming to me trying to get with him, let me take advantage of that. Yo, you want to get with these guys? I tell you what, I'll get you with him. Not only that, I'll get you a title shot. Because nobody, who else can go sit down? I can go sit on the foot of his bed, nigga, at midnight, 8 in the morning. I can interrupt his meals. You can't do none of that.
You don't stay from the 70s, 80s, the 90s, and up to date on the top of the game, not knowing what you're doing. To
That's
stay
right.
on top, you got to know what you're doing.
No, that's right.
And for to have longevity, that many champs, and champs coming into camp from
That's
all
right.
over. I'm gonna throw a name at you from Cincinnati, Richard Christmas.
Yes, sir.
When we do this up fast, Richard Christmas, we call Richard
We got
Christmas.
to put him in Ohio Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
you got to know.
Richard Christmas would bring them to us quick, fast, in a hurry.
And I would tell Snar, I say, you know what we need? We need a Christmas special. You know, and look, he would just, what you need?
I tell you a blessing from Cincinnati, and they don't give the young man the credit that he
Timmy
done.
Austin.
You know, little men are giants too.
Yeah.
And Timmy Austin, second to none,
right.
was an outright champion. He eats it, sleeps it, and still today, he still be in champ mode. I say, you retired, brother, but
Yeah.
people like him
My
was
man
a
right
jewel.
there, boy.
Right.
You know, for him to win, and people
I'm
say
gonna
he
make
was a
sure
quitter.
when I do the
Who said
Ohio
that?
Boxing Hall of Fame, they should be acknowledged.
Yeah, when we got
Timmy
dumped in
Austin.
the Olympics,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
they
yeah.
said he didn't get, he quit. And then to come back as a pro, and
Hold the
fight
title for 7.5 years.
Yeah, fought in the first, got his jaw broken the first round, fought 8 rounds, jaw
Hey.
broke in 2 places.
Look,
and
cold-
knocked a joker out.
Coldest
That's
thing
it.
I seen,
Right.
you know, that he gets his jaw repaired the first time, and his bite wasn't right. So
Right.
it's, you know, so he like, fuck, break it again and then heal again. I'm like, what, nigga, you gonna do what? and he went and had it broke again and reset. So
Right.
another whatever length of time it was. And I'm like, just, you want to go through that again? You know what I mean? And he did that, man. It's been 2 fighters in my career that I've managed from 0-0 to undefeated world champion. And they both from Ohio. One was Michael Dokes, who was a heavyweight, and the other was Tim Austin. And Timmy, you know, the difference in the two as champion, Timmy had about 9 to 10 title defenses, you know, and Michael Dokes was like 0-1-1 as a champion. we didn't fare too good. Michael went another way on me, you know, but that was my man through thick and thin. You know, that's like as Nate was saying, how we build relationships.
Yeah,
I got
well,
relationships that go back you know, 40, you know, almost 50 years, man. Yeah, I'm like, damn, am I saying 50 years?
Let's close this up with some words for the Hall of Fame to leave the people with. You know, Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame.
I think that being into the Hall of Fame is great. But some of them fighters, man, you know what I'm saying, that come in have paid their dues. You know, I had almost 300 fights. You know what I'm saying? And then they tell you that when you get in the 60s, you know what I'm saying, you gotta watch. You know what I'm saying? Something wrong with your head or something like that.
Right.
But only thing that I can ever say that I've been in the ring with champions.
But they couldn't hit you though,
I
Chip.
know. That's what I'm saying. So I didn't get hit that much. You know what I'm
Fighters
saying?
was getting some
But-
shoulder
but
repair
yeah.
from missing you, man. They throwing
But
their
here,
shoulder
you know what
out.
I'm saying, too, you know what I'm saying? I think, you know what I'm saying, God was a blessing to us. You know? And I really think that Don was a father to every fighter that's been there. You know, so if I can't see Don, I catch him. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes Don be busy. You know what I'm saying? So I catch him. You know, but we all, you know what I'm saying, know, you know what I'm saying, who is the boss. You know? And now I always come and say, man, what's going on this side? But you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you type, when you know a fighter, you see fighters, every fighter that you get into the fight with, you gotta just look at his feet or look for them big, strong punches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just think, thank God, man, that we even had Don King or that, you know what I'm saying?
Those guys like you that made him who he is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right?
We couldn't say that. Here you is, you walk down the street and here boys on the street doing the Ollie Shuffle. You know what I'm saying?
Holly
You know what I'm saying?
So Nate, give us some statements about you going into the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, man. Give us some words that's going to last some time.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame with Craig Hawk and his sponsors, and for all the support he gave me over the years. It's been a long journey, but it's been a great one. I would like to say thanks to everybody and all my fans and for all the support, all the ones that wanted to be here, and all the ones that's going to be here. And one thing for sure and two for certain, the show shall continue.
All right, CK, your time, man. Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, close it up.
Well, I must say it's indeed an honor. You know, it's a real honor to be recognized by your peers and to go in with a group of guys that we have developed relationships over the course of entire careers. It is indeed special. But for me personally, what made this particular induction special was that I'm going in with my father. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I don't know of any other father-son combination to be inducted into a Hall of Fame on the same day. Same Hall of Fame, same day, same time. You know, to me, nothing can possibly top that, you know, for me. It may be other Hall of Fames, there may be other occasions, other goals where we may meet, but to be inducted with your father is about as special as it gets. And for that, Indiana, I am eternally grateful.
And everybody got to know that Ohio got some bad mama jump.
That's
Yeah,
right.
ain't no question about that.
Ain't no question.
Ohio stands on its own. You hear me?
Hey, look,
Even Al Heyman is from Ohio. You know what I'm saying?
look, in closing, we like to say this.
What's your excuse? I want to know what your excuse is going to be tonight.
Oh, Antonio Tolliver. Oh, yeah. You
Everybody good? What's up, Chance? What's up, man? How you doing, boss?
Look at you, man. Look at you,
What's
man.
up, boss? How you doing? Brother Nate. Okay, how you doing? What's up, boss? Everybody, how you
The
doing?
champs just show up here.
Man, we
Hanging in
got
there,
the
boss.
Come on, man. Look at you, man. You doing good.
Trying to get my man.
Sit right here real quick so we can
So they tell me, man, look at our guest who just shows up.
Are we still on, bro?
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
I'm 34 right now.
Is he?
34.
Nah, he drops my, okay.
Hey,
I thought he was younger than that.
Look, we still on.
I take
Okay,
I'm
look,
53.
Keep it going.
Hey, look,
Me
you
too.
can- you can still come back after retirement. Wait, do we get more time? Do we get more time? Look, with champs just keep showing up here at the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, we have the president,
what's your
Craig
excuse
Hall
tonight?
of the Indiana Boxing Hall, Antonio Tolliver. Look, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Look, give us some insight what this means to you, the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame to be inducted.
When I think about the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, you know, Craig has been a friend of mine for forever. Really, I like what he's doing, bringing the boxing community together for this great cause. I just remember the one time I fought here in Indianapolis. It was a great card. I got memories of my friend that passed. God bless the dead, Vernon the Viper Forrest, man.
Yeah.
One of my good friends, and we fought on the same undercard.
Mosley.
Yeah, Mosley, the rematch.
Yeah.
Mosley.
That was here?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Great fight, bro. Yeah, Mosley,
Conseco Center?
Vernon
Yeah.
Forrest, and there was a rematch of myself and Eric Harding.
Eric Harding
Wow,
should be.
that's right.
Eric Harding was a tough match for you, correct?
Very tough.
There's what I'm saying, good, very good
Very
fighter.
tough. Southpaw, that has skills.
Great fight.
Yeah, underrated power, and just had that Philly. Was from Philly and really knew how to fight, bro. And I take my hat off to him, but you know, I had to dig deep and pull that one out. You know what I'm saying? I remember being down on the scorecards, but you know, really fighting hard to stick with the game plan. You know, not throw it away, or not
absolutely.
deviate from the game plan. And I'm glad I did.
How hard is that, champ?
It's very hard. A lot of those young fighters are gonna have to experience that. It was a saying in the movie, you gotta be baptized under fire. And a lot of seriously though, and champion, any fighter that's in that ring, you know, you're gonna have those questions. You know, what the heck am I doing
They
here?
definitely got to
You
be
know,
answered.
and they gotta be answered right on the spot, you
Definitely
know.
got to be answered.
And that was one of those learning experiences, and for that, man, I just know that it really carried me, and you know, just never give up, work
go
hard.
home now,
You
champ.
gotta believe in yourself, though.
Can't go home now.
You gotta believe in yourself. So
Come too far now.
I'm just glad for everyone that made this possible, and all these other Hall of Famers and inductees, man. We're very proud and you know, gracious for the honor.
You know, Antonio Tarver, anybody that fought in Indiana and was a world champion should be inducted into the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. That's just how I feel, and that's the way it's going to go down. Antonio Tarver is one of the great fighters of all times. He's a bronze medal winner.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, he's a bronze medal. I think you got to know what greatness is.
Class of 96.
That was a team.
Spencer talk about the 76 team, and then they start talking about the 84 team, and then here comes Tarver. Well, what about the 96 team? Hey, Rob, we were in Florida. We got them all going. And we had Mooney.
Charles Mooney.
Mooney was going.
He works
all
and
right,
brings at the Palm Beach
And
gym.
then we had somebody from the 84 team, and like, no, it's 84. And then here comes
But then
Tarver.
Roy, you know, Roy was on a great team. 88. That was a great team
That was
too.
phenomenal.
And I was mentioning that.
What was the guy's name? Who missed the bus? Remember in Korea? Oh,
Ooh, and then he didn't fight. I
right.
remember that.
Remember the dude? He was it
showed that fight.
Hembry?
Light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Right.
Anthony Hembry. He became world champion.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Hey, you know,
that was
a lot
a
of
good
people
team.
forget on your team, Zaire Rahim.
Zahir Rahim, he's in Atlanta.
Zaire
boxing
Rahim
coach
was a great champion.
That on 119 pounds,
He
right?
beat Barrera. He beat who was it? Not Barrera, but the other Mexican.
Morales.
Morales.
Yeah, he beat Morales.
He was on your. A lot of people forget about him, but he was.
Yes, he was really
Zaire was a great fighter.
We're talking greatness. We're talking about people that deserve to be recognized, and that's what we're doing today. Is recognizing every one of these men that did all the hard work.
Well, I appreciate your recognition.
Man, no.
That was something that's hard to come by.
Now, it's hard to get anybody to get the recognition that they deserve.
had some
How about the 1980 team that did he got
Yeah,
point?
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
About the 18, you got
That
boy.
turn got boycotted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So keep going, Tarver. We're going to talk about what's Antonio Tarver got going on in his life. That's what we want to know.
Well, I mean, you know, my thing is, I felt like, you know, I've always been a product of the game, so it's only right that, you know, I give back, man. I'm working diligently down in Florida. I'm promoting fights now. I'm still in the gym with my son, but I'm signing a few more young cats that I think has a lot of potential, and I'm just going to try to work that, you know, really give back to these kids, sprinkle a little magic on them, show them how this thing goes, you know what I'm saying? The inside and out, you know, of the game, and so that's, you know, very important. And I'm working with Pro Box TV. It's a new boxing channel, and I think it's long overdue. Me, Roy Jones, Paula Malignaggi, as well as Manuel Marquez have come together and formed Pro Box TV in Plant City, Florida. Yeah, we have another fight July 9th, man. We got dates, so we got all boxing content. We got a great podcast that we're doing. So tap in to ProBoxTV.com. You can see everything, man. Like, subscribe, and we're going to keep it coming.
All right, so I want to ask you one question. How did you let Rocky Balboa beat you?
I don't know what you saw. You must have, hold up, wait a minute. No, they got an alternative ending you can play with. But I won the fight.
So I love that.
That was in my contract, man. We couldn't do that.
You know, and not many people even know that he was in the Rocky movie. You know what I'm saying? Now there are people that do know boxing, the diligent fans know Rocky. I was like, they're talking to somebody, they're like, who, Tarver? I didn't see him. Was he Mr. T? I'm like, man, he was Dixon.
Was he Mr.
Mason Line.
Man.
Yeah, that was a great time in life, man. You know, sometimes, you know, God just bless you. You know, I never, you know, I used to grow up watching Rocky, and, you know, when we were young, we used to do the raw eggs, one-arm push-ups and all that, but come on, man. I'm from Ivy Lane, Florida, bro. Like, you know, it's one of those things when you think about it, just, you know.
1983,
blessing.
Jacksonville, Florida, Sunshine State Games. You was 13, and I think Tarver was 13
No,
too.
I'm Tarver, but Roy Jones.
I
know, relax, we all right.
But he's the same age as you, correct?
Yeah, I think I might be a few. He's in December. I think I might be a few months older.
Okay. But I saw both of you guys fight there.
Yeah, that was 13 years old. 13 years old.
Yeah.
Me and the great Roy Jones Jr. got in there and we duked it out
I still
for the
remember.
Sunshine State game.
Sunshine
right?
State Game, yeah.
Roy was
Did not know that.
he was a phenom then,
Yes,
right?
he was in there too.
He was a phenom at
At
that
age
age.
13,
Yes.
yeah.
I was new to the game coming on. He had more experience than me.
Yeah.
But on my team, we had a hell of a team from Florida. I know guys that had the real skill set.
Yes.
But you know, life sometimes take guys on a different road. I'm the only one from that group of talent that made it. You understand me? So when I look back at that, that just shows me that if one person get out,
Anybody.
and you know, it's enough, bro. You save one person, you save them. You feel me? So I'm an example of that. You know, now I'm out here reaching out, giving back, helping these kids. You know, so you know, But that was the moment that after I didn't know what I was going to do in life.
Absolutely.
You know,
Talk about your son. Talk about your son.
I'm going to
Talk about your son because
he's the next, you know, but again, you know, in Junior's 34 years old, but we've been at this thing for a long time.
Right.
But you know as well as I know, bro, you can't force this on nobody, not even your own son.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because if he ain't ready, he's gonna get in there and get hurt, right?
That's right.
And I can't do what I do, and I'm not gonna lie to him, I'm not gonna lie to me, bro. If I don't see it, I can't push it. I gotta see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he coming, bro, but it's on him.
Right.
He got everything. He got everything it takes.
And he needs to understand the clock is ticking.
But you can take a horse to the well, but you can't make it run, bro. And I did my thing. Now he got to figure it out for himself. I've been trying to lead him, but it's only so much I can do.
Well, you got him on the
feel
right
me?
track.
Yeah.
You got him on the right track. He just got to drink from that well.
You got it, but you know, light bulb gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if I go there, that ain't gonna work. I can't pull it. You know what I mean?
You can't want it more.
I can't exactly. You said it.
And the last time I seen him fight, you were being inducted into the Florida boxing
Yes,
Hall
sir.
of Fame. He
This
fought
last
that.
fight.
That was his last fight.
Wait, like you did, champ. You know when we mess around and
I
get
can't. I put it out
you know what
there.
I'm saying? For the two piece.
We talking boxing, man. How much longer we got?
Hey, they wake up in the locker room with the gloves cut off and like, what happened? When we going out, champ? Shit over here.
Give me another, kid. Bring him back.
You been out. You been out, yeah, you know.
You know, here's what I gotta say to you, Carl. This ain't Ali versus Frazier. This is Berwick. This is Trevor.
Burger.
Trevor, your boy, your fight. That's fight.
Ryan. Trevor
Bryant. Trevor Bryant, right.
He got a big fight coming.
We gotta tell him. We tell Don that he can't miss. This is unless it's Ali Frazier. We can't do the small stuff.
Well, I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Let him tell him, huh? See how far that goes.
I'm gonna say, yeah, that's it. Craig wanna talk to you,
I
man.
want to talk to Tony. Tony, all right, when you walked in the ring and Tyson's in his prime, and no bullshit, okay? How intimidating was it? Be honest.
Nothing really, you know, I really want to say that Tyson's a good young man.
Yeah.
He just got lucky.
Well, he got lucky a lot of times.
No, listen to me.
Tell him,
Now,
champ.
now here I want to tell you, listen. Look at me boxing with Mike Tyson before we fought.
Yeah, you had probably some pretty good skills.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but here what I'm saying. He still got lucky. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause anybody get hit on the chin, and somebody, you know what I'm saying, you get hit on the chin, that's the worst place to get hit.
Yeah.
And when he did that, that's wrong.
So you got lucky.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
you know, luck paid him back in that same
that's right.
city a couple years later. I was at that one. That's the longest plane ride of my life. Flying back, I'm like, I'll be a mother. Come all the way over here eating sushi
And some things you can see from one coming.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, man.
You can't play with the creatures
gotta
at night
get-
and
I mean, to be
expect to
honest
fly with the eagles in the daytime.
That's true.
Hey,
Yes,
sometimes you got to be like that wise old owl who sat on the.
Here's my
old
only thing I
oak.
have to say. Here's the only thing I have to
You
say.
know?
And I'm a Tyson fan, huge Tyson fan.
Yeah.
But listen, when I get knocked down and I'm incoherent and I don't know what I'm saying, the only person I'm listening to is referee. I ain't listening to the person over here that counting 10, 11.
That's right. That's
The only
right.
person I'm listening to is the referee. And if he says 9, I'm gonna get up at 9. You know what I'm saying? But if he tells that's the guy I think he had to be. It wasn't Buster's fault that he took the long time. And then he still got up and still knocked him out.
It was a hell of a fight, man.
Yeah.
But one thing,
That fight ended
but one
the
thing,
minute Buster stood up. That fight was over.
But one thing to
because Mike was
show-
like,
He shot his little.
one thing to show, let me say this, one thing to
Man,
show
yeah.
that we all as fighters need to understand is that you're only gonna get out what you put in.
Absolutely.
I've been around Tyson since 1984.
Yeah.
I almost fought him in 1984, but I lost to, I forgot the guy's name, we talk about him all the time, in the semifinals in Ohio State Fair. I bought Mike a $10 some McDonald's. We've been friends ever since. Best $10 I ever spent. You know how close me and Mike is.
Yeah, I know.
Best $10 I ever spent.
Yeah.
And I spent my whole career with him.
Yeah.
But boxing wasn't really my thing. It's like I said, I'm watching Don. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find out where the real money is.
Yeah.
You know? And then I ended up going, when Tony fought, lost to Tim Weatherspoon, we drove up there to get the check. And then they asked me to stay up there and work with Redliff.
Yeah, cruiserweight.
Yeah.
For $250 a week.
Alfonso.
I said, man, I'll fight anybody for $250 a week, right? So I stayed up there, Tony let me up there.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I got cool with Tim and all them. But the things I learned over the years, my ambition always been a promoter. I fought because Tony made me fight. You know, I was a basketball player, you know, but I always fought because me and a brother got murdered and I had a short fuse, so we stayed fighting, you know what I mean? But the most important thing, I say this to say that, you're only gonna get what you put in.
That's right.
Me being a promoter now for the last 30 years, person be surprised, I've been promoting since '87. And back then I was doing a show every month. I had that money. I was doing a show every month. It didn't matter if I lost or not, the money was coming in. Hey, never surprised.
Tony,
That's why I'm here. We're here for my boxing.
right.
I'm here
Now,
because my
isn't
promoting
it amazing, the greatest of all times, who all of us were in camp with, including Tim Witherspoon, we were all together, young coming up amateurs. Ali came back, especially to that fight
Right.
that night. Could you imagine the way he felt? Is that his students
Right.
were up there fighting for the heavyweight championship?
That's right.
But,
right.
but you know, over the years, I
That's
learned.
That was good. That
But
was
you know, over the years, I done learned going to training camp is not just conditioning; it's getting your mind right.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And these young fighters don't understand that. Because average fighter's scared, and it ain't about being scared of the fighter. You scared of losing in front of your fans and stuff like that. A lot of things run through a person's head, and a person, a real fighter, admit it. You know, Tyson used to say, I remember when he was getting hypnotized with that. You know, but he's always say he's always scared. But it always was never about the individual fighter. He was scared about performing in front of the
Let me
fans.
ask you this. Let me ask you something. Is it true that the only time like a fighter knows, like you don't know if you got confidence you're gonna win, but the only thing you really know if you're gonna just go in there and give it up, right? Like if you ain't nervous and you ain't got the butterflies, you might not be planning on winning.
Right.
I'm just saying.
But all that plays a part, though.
It does, man. I was curious.
That's why being in camp 2 and 3 months, you get your mind right.
Right.
As long as you know you're doing everything you're supposed to do, the confidence goes up.
Sometimes
And then a lot of times, the most talented fighter don't always win.
Right.
You know, I done seen guys come out of liquor wanting to fight because of conditioning and determination.
you know, and you know, you never know when you get in there.
Yeah, no, that it's been times, man. Be in camp with guys, and you can see it, man. You can see it when they're training, whether some dudes had a certain look. Frankie Randall, God rest his soul. Frankie Randall, I'm watching him run in Orwell, Ohio, in the dead of the winter. He come back, his little mustache is all icicles and snot frozen coming out of his nose.
Right.
But he had that fire in his eye. And we would be riding, Aaron can tell you this, we would be riding in a limo and you stop at a red light, he'd jump out the car and meet me at the next light and get to running. Because it was like, I got a chance to fight Julio Cesar Chavez. And he made good on it. Exactly.
Right.
I just want to say something. Ohio ain't to be messed with.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
And next year, we're going to have Boxing Hall of Fame.
Out Ohio, I'm going to hit.
Okay, man.
Now I know.
Here we go.
Now, they way we go over there.
We have 42 world champions out of Ohio.
Right now,
I'm gonna get
the problem in Cleveland and I'm speaking now, I can't speak in terms of, currently, right?
Right.
But for years and years, one of the biggest problems was the lack of trainers.
Right.
You had guys with talent, but when it came down to a big time trainer, remember what was it? Clint Martin. Clint Martin had Sturdemeyer and them, and after that, it was.
Right. That's the problem we have today. Ain't no good trainers.
The gyms.
You got everybody
there's
walking
a
on the street
reason,
trying to be
me, there's a
trained.
reason for that, man. I swear, look, coming up, man, there was guys like Bill Prezant, who I thought was a fabulous cut man, one of the best. Him, Eddie Aliano was another great cut man. Bill would wrap hands, man, and it'd be like bricks.
Right.
But the problem was, he never would show anybody. Like, show me how you do your hand.
He wouldn't show the
They
trade,
would, and all them trainers was the same way. They would not, like I used to tease Bill. I said, man, he's so good, he'll stop a hemophiliac from bleeding. That's how good the cut man he is. But he never like that, they never passed that on. Aaron was fortunate because he ran into a guy that was willing to share the knowledge.
Right.
But how many, I mean, think about how many people do we see that goes, you know, that training thing, man. And without that, the guys can only be so good, right?
Hey,
I had a gym for about 15
I'm
years.
gonna show you how far the knowledge would take me on this anniversary of this day, and see if Tony, if everybody can be reminded. He says, "Man, I find a way. Oh man, I find a way." He said, "Now, what you gotta do? You put it in motion. Once you put it in motion, you can stick. You can move. Huh? Put it in motion." I'm the greatest of all time. And from that
That's great.
little kid, Ali, teaching that little simple thing to teach you from skipping rope how to stick and move. That's how simple it is to put it in motion. See, not too many guys are going to say
June 3rd, it says that he
That's
passed
it.
away.
And that's
6
something
years.
paying homage to him, man.
6 years
Homage
ago.
to him.
There we go.
Yeah.
We gotta respect the greatest.
Yeah, you got to teach and train. So those
Hey,
things
how
are
about this? He get an Ali story, right?
all right.
The greatest con job ever in boxing, Ali Holmes. You know, remember Ali is semi-retired.
Yeah.
He started to gray a little bit, he grew a mustache. And I remember in July of 1980, Holmes is fighting Scott LeDoux, Bloomington, Minnesota. That was Mamby, Saul Mamby fought against Esteban de Jesus. And so we up there, you know, and so they decided, DK announces, you know, Holmes Ali for the fall.
Right.
Like, man, Ali, you know, and Ali got the mustache, the gray, and overweight. Man, look here, the opening line was 10-1 Holmes. 10-1, it's like not even close.
But you know what?
But man, Ali showed up with Caesar's Palace. You know, he had this medication that helped him lose the weight. Inadvertently helped him lose the weight. It wasn't that he intended. He shaved that mustache, dyed his hair. The man looked like Cassius Clay, okay? And all of a sudden, you know, that line went from 10-1. The fight went off 6-5 pickle. So I'm like, and Ali had nothing left with the Holmes fight. He had nothing left.
They still believe.
They believe. And so did I. I was like, I'm crying and like, don't hit out.
Like you say, he found a way.
Yeah. He found a way.
Found a way. When you've been a fighter and you've been a champion, it's out in your head to choose a champion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You ain't finna go out this door. You know what I'm saying? And you come to your senses. You know what I'm saying? That I used to be a champion. You know what I'm saying?
You go out there.
But hold like that. I'd rather live and die whooping on this boy's behind, trying to, before I take a dive over there and be whooped with anybody.
There
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? It's the things that fighters take to death.
You know what they call it? It's that thing, it's that 6 inches.
what?
6 inches between your sternum and your backbone.
Well,
That's
we see
your heart.
We see everything.
That's
We
where
see
it's
the size.
at. In that little 6 inch
One thing we don't see is the heart.
between the two.
It's not visible.
That's where it's at. You gotta have
The biggest
that.
problem is we don't have the proper trainers no more. See, I had a gym for 15 years. My son got murdered in 2008, and I shut my gym down. But on Thursdays, I had the trainers. We watching videos there. We having
Understand
we getting an understanding of what's going on. And then in my gym, I did more like an assembly line. Everybody has something different to do every day.
Sure.
Wasn't nobody just you gonna be the trainee doing everything. No, you just make them stretch.
And we
get them
tried
jumping
that.
and organized. You know what I mean? Everybody's getting changed every day.
My viewpoint,
They need to learn the business,
many
though.
training fighters have trained
Go ahead,
through
Jim.
time.
Go ahead.
The main
Keep
thing
going.
is that you can't teach all fighters fight the same way.
Right, that's right.
You have to identify
perfect their talent.
the style that they have and their talent.
And perfect it.
And understand that talent, that style, and then teach that style.
Right.
Yeah, but most guys only know one style.
Most trainers want you to train to fight like you do.
Right.
You know, you gotta look at what they got, and what they bring to the table and perfect
Yeah,
it.
you can't teach everybody to fight the same. And
I'm a
styles
strong,
make fights.
but you know, I'm a strong individual
You gotta
videotaper.
do that. Yeah.
You know, because I like to study.
Yeah,
You know, one day, like I said, on Thursdays, I had the trainers training. We're gonna watch tapes and we're gonna educate each other, you know, doing little quizzes, and so I can get a better understanding of what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, we all become students of the game.
I just learned that from being around the Tysons and all them all these years.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
you know, if
You
you
start looking at what's missing.
we know
Right.
back when we were with Muhammad Ali,
you see
we
him
used to
in
watch
the
film. Remember the whole reel he had in the camp? He come, everybody's hitting the camp, and I'll show me and say, we do this.
Of being
and we do
Tyson
that.
sparring.
You know,
And Mike
it goes
knocking me
back
down.
that far with-
I don't even know where the come from.
So we all
Because they
become
really didn't ever
students of the game.
videotape. Now, they didn't really do a lot of videotaping. But a guy showed me yesterday a type of me and Tyson sparring. But I said, only time he knocked me down when he fought Buster Mathis. And that's when Mom and them thought he'd kill me or something. You know, he thought but they never showed me hitting him with that pretty combination. You know what I mean? And I just got caught.
Yeah, Buster
A
Man.
guy showed me that yesterday.
Yeah, that fight was at Philly, right? Yeah.
That's why I met Patty LaBelle.
Yeah,
You know, we was at
Yeah,
place, a chicken joint.
yeah.
Patty, good people.
Good people.
She still owe me about 5 to 6,000 playing blackjack.
Yeah.
You know, she here, give me, let me just get that from you playing on. Hey,
But I'm looking to put together. I'm looking to put together the Ohio Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm gonna do the Midwestern because we done had 42 champions through Ohio alone. And I'm gonna put it together for next year.
I think
All
that's
those
in
have.
motion.
Yeah.
So just throw that one down. Now, what they saying outside of Ohio?
And look, man, we got 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
I gotta get Tarver to his room with this lady. We gotta get rested. Okay, look, 5:30, we're gonna go out there. It's the meet and greet. Everything's casual now.
Where's that gonna be at?
It's gonna be right back out there, right in front of the ball. 5:30. Yeah, it's about 5:30 to 7. Then you can walk straight down back through here, come back in, and start here right around 7. Everybody got it?
You got it?
Got it.
It's not
Thank you, Indiana Boxing.